Hey, thanks for watching the Green Room Recipes. Today we're going to make beet burgers. Homemade veggie burgers topped with goat cheese, lettuce, tomato, pickles, mustard, and mayonnaise on buttered and grilled buns. I will say it's one of our more complicated recipes, but I did have a lot of fun making these at home. Alright, gather all this shit together. And you're also going to need a food processor, an electric griddle, and some latex gloves. To begin, we're going to need a cup each of cooked rice and lentils. I prefer basmati rice, but use whatever rice you prefer, cooked according to the instructions on the package. For the lentils, you want to cover them with water and bring to a boil, and then just let them rip for about 10 minutes until they just start to become tender. Next, you're going to need a cup of toasted almonds. Put them in the oven at 350 degrees for about 8 minutes, or until they just start to turn golden brown. Once you have the rice, the lentils, and the almonds all cooked off, set them aside to cool while you prepare the rest of the ingredients. Step 4. Peel and shred the beets. If you have a shredder attachment on your food processor, it makes it a lot easier. You just got to make sure it's plugged in.
You blew it.
You want to shred enough beets to make about 2 quarts. Once you've got all your beets shredded, take them out and put them in a mixing bowl and replace the shredder attachment with the blade attachment, and go ahead and put the beets back in the food processor and grind them into little pieces. You want the beets to be chunky but not soupy, so don't leave it on for too long. Maybe just hit the pulse button about 5 or 6 times like I did here. They should look a little something like this. Next, you're going to grind the cooked rice. You want to leave this on for about 30 seconds to a minute until it starts to break up and get really sticky. Should look a little something like this. Throw that in the bowl, and then we're going to do the cooked lentils. Just pulse it about 3 or 4 times, maybe 5, maybe 6, until they're broken up but not mushy. Should look like this. Throw that in the bowl, and then we're going to grind up the toasted almonds and the peeled garlic. You want to turn this into sort of a powder, so leave it on for about a minute and a half. Should look a little something like this. Combine that with the rest of the ingredients and chop up a tablespoon of thyme and rosemary, and we'll add the spices, a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of black pepper, a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. Then add a cup of oats, and you're going to start mixing all of this together until it's combined really well. Flatten out the mixture with your hands and just divide it in half. We're going to puree half of the mixture in the food processor. Leave it in there for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, maybe even 3 minutes, until it's pretty smooth and sticky. This is the glue that holds the beet burger together while it's cooking, so you want it to be pretty sticky. But we leave half the mixture coarsely ground so that there's texture to the bite. Mix the 2 halves together thoroughly and then form them into patties. You want to make them about as big as the bun you're using, as they don't really shrink while you're cooking them. You should be able to get at least 4 or 5 beet burgers out of this recipe. The buns I was using are pretty big, so you could make them smaller and make more if you want. Next, get your griddle blazing hot and coat it with a layer of cooking spray. Lay the beet burgers out flat on the griddle and cook them on one side for about 10-15 minutes until they start to get crispy. Coat the other side with cooking spray and give them all a flip. You're going to repeat the process on the other side about 10-15 minutes until they start to get crispy and turn a little bit golden brown. Once you feel that both sides are cooked and crispy, remove them from the griddle and set them aside somewhere warm while we get the buns ready. I'm using egg and onion buns, but use whatever kind you like. Just put a pat of butter on each side and toast them up until they're good and golden brown. I'm dressing them the way we did them at the restaurant, but feel free to use whatever toppings you like. We've got mayonnaise, we got a spicy Polish deli mustard, we got sliced kosher dill pickles, sliced Roma tomato, and spring mix. Step 19. Get some goat cheese on top of the beet burger that you've kept warm. Close up the lid and get ready to annihilate. And there you have it, the beet burger. Is it worth all the work? Yes. It's pretty fucking good. Enjoy.